Hello? 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 Hello, Dennis, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, very good. Yes?
Louder. Okay, so hold on a second. I'll share my screen here. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. You can see me already. See my presentation already, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So we got Eric and Dennis here, or
Correct.
okay. So about some product update, I have a PPT to have an overview of the solution that we've been developed for these 2 years, regarding including the CCTV and also some Security Plus application solutions. So I will start, and then since you know most of the products, so I think it will be more interesting if like you see something that you have questions or having interest in, we can stop to discuss about details. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So this slide is quite long. It's like 65 slides. So I try to put the most solid solution that we have so far for you to have an idea. Okay. So if there's any questions, raise up anytime. But because the volume is a bit small, so probably you need to speak louder to stop me, because I'm not sure if I can get you when I'm talking. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll start with the. So first of all, the solution update from our diagram here. So you must be familiar with the diagram that we have the traditional security, including the cameras, NVR, and then CMS. And we've been talking about integration with some third-party devices for different applications, like pulse integration, access control integration, or others. And nowadays we have more. It's called market application suite. This is also shown at the SSA, last SSA, about retail. And of course, market application suite is a general concept. It's not limited in just retail market. It's also, we are focusing on commercial building, factory, logistics, banking, and educational. So it's an idea that you have CCTV to combine with video analytics and the other services like pulse integration or access control integration. So the MS includes more ideas, but I think it will be more solid. We start with the what's the new technology to be used with the CCTV first. So let's start with it. So actually now we transition to be an end-to-end solution provider. Not only the surveillance, but not for surveillance, it's just traditional recording and forensic evidence management. But this time we have more for the mission critical applications, like for business intelligence, operation management, and security management. So the idea is people are talking about IoT and big data, and all of these, they include a lot of sensors technology inside, and also the camera is regarding as part of the sensor, and it's an eye that can also give you the view of no matter what data you get from the sites. So this is an idea that it can be used in these three main purposes. Okay. So to zoom in a bit, so from the security camera and NVR, this is the basic infrastructure we have. So we are good at cameras and NVRs. This is our center. So from here, we build a solid video management system here. And then from there, we are able to provide the video analytics. So-called, we can have two options. So one is for security plus, another is the big data collector. Okay, from here, we are generating two things. One thing is the video. Another thing is calling data. So video combining with the data, it can achieve basic operation management. So like I said, the IoT to dashboard live monitor or KPI analysis. And then we go to the business intelligence. So for big data, for pulse analysis dashboard, or to understand customers, employees, behaviors. Okay, so here are all very general ideas. So let's zoom in to see what's the new technology we have here. So from the camera, I know that Xpert Data keeping having some specific models in stock and selling. And nowadays I wanted to update the spec. So for now, most of the cameras are compatible with the H.265 compression method. So you can see that in the market, more of the cameras are with this spec. So with this spec in ACTi, it's A series. So you can see we've got complete options for the A series cameras. So this is the first thing I think you can consider from the new building that you are going to have with the new models as a demo site for the customer. So to change to adjust your portfolio right now. And there are two benefits for it. The first thing, like you can have the newest spec. This is the first thing. And the second thing is this series of cameras are with the, so we are able to cost down, but with the still maintain the good quality of view. Even some of the models are better because of the sensors cost is lower right now. So some of them you can get a really good low light sensitivity, and this is most of the time very, very critical in terms of video quality. Okay, so these are the same thing, and then you can see there are already some leading spec. First thing is the speed dome. We've got the 4K, the 8 megapixel speed dome camera. This one is with the 22 zoom ratio. So
is this one also produced by ACTi, or is it like from a third party?
This one is a third party one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But also the Taiwan manufacturer. So all the cameras, if we OEM still, we choose basically, I only recommend the Taiwan manufacturer one. Yeah. So this one is the Taiwan manufacturer one. Yeah. Okay. So, and then the other one is the two coming model, which is the 12 megapixel dome and bullet cameras. So this is also good. And then I always also suggest for some SMB, small, medium-sized business, they are sometimes with the demand with the smaller, like mini dome options, with the cheaper, lower budget. So we got pretty good spec here and with a pretty beautiful pricing at the mini dome series here. So we can discuss about this if at the pricing. If you I'm sure that Eric, you also received the latest price list.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, like the pricing, you can refer to it. Pretty sweet spec and over pricing now. Okay. So it's no problem. I'll just go to the next page. Another one I want to point out is this. I know that you purchased a lot of bullet camera, the 5 megapixel bullet cameras. So now we got this new model with the 36 times zoom ratio. So it's for your reference. So probably it's a good model that you can try to re-engage with your customers who purchase 5 megapixel bullet cameras, the B46 cameras, that you can like suggest them that, oh, you have the new spec here. So probably this will generate some new projects, inquiries. Okay, so these are the like pretty much leading spec and unique spec. And then also I think for the portfolio update, these are the models that you can consider. Okay. Of course, you can find already a lot of beautiful demo video from the A series in our website, so you can be relaxed about the video, the camera's quality, and also the video quality. Okay. So that's the camera part. So for the security part, still we have some like location adaptive cameras. For example, that's this one is Q22. I'm sure that you are aware of that one. I just want to share here with you for more like a case reference now that the cameras are installed in some cases. For example, the most famous one is the in Singapore. There's a hotel called Marina Sand Bay. So this is one of the most luxurious hotel in the Southeast Asia. So this one use this model for the service assurance. Actually, they use it in these like counters, and then in the like a VIP hosting desk in a lot of places it's already using, I think it's already 100 cameras right now. So this is what they use. Okay, and another big application is in the banking and also telecommunication stores. How do you say that? Like a telecom. So the stores that you go to apply for your like a data plan, the phone, your mobile phones. So there are a lot of use because these why it's bank and also this type of stores because it requires the evidence for the services because the services requires sometimes a lot of times contracts. So they need a very clear image at the clerks and also the customers, and they want to record the audio. So it's like when we called banks or we called our phone company, they always will let you know that okay, all the services, all the conversations are recorded for the good services. So it's the same concept. So this camera with the built-in audio actually gives them a very very handy solution there. And further, it has the built-in microphone, so it has the sound detection. So sound detection is also a video analytic function that can detect if the volume is too large, then it will send a notification. It will be treated as an event. So to be able to monitor the service quality. Okay, so this is about Q22. And then cover cameras, you are familiar with that. So we keeping having case studies from the ATM, mainly ATM and some retail stores or like the hospitality, like restaurants or casinos. Most of the time in the luxurious ones, they want a hidden one. So, okay. So these are all the cases for the cover cameras. And this model for the mobile vehicles, so it's built in Taiwan's MRT and also used in some of European countries like buses companies. So these are used. So this you can see it's different from the normal dome cameras. It got the angle especially designed for the cabinet. So it got a very good angle, no matter it's in the cabinet or it's outside the bus. You can see a very good angle about what happening like beside the bus. So because the bus, there's always some blind spots when driver is driving. So these cameras are used in some bus companies like installed outside the bus. Okay. And this one is also a case that in the MRT. So I will jump this because this is more specific for the MRT or train or tram. Okay. And the other video analytics we have here, including those built-in analytics in camera. For example, like this VMGB 100. It's very small. It's not for security at all. It's with a black and white image. It's purely for generate the data of the visitors' age and genders and emotions. So this is a built-in analytics camera. Or the others like we have the facial recognition built-in camera or also software, and we got the license plate recognition, people counting, and other type of video analytics for Security Plus. And then you will see that in the newest price list or from the website, you see a lot of part numbers called MGB, blah, blah, blah. So MGB is called metadata generator box. So it's like what I mentioned at the first. So now we collect the video but also collect the metadata that the video can generate. So with the video, for example, for facial recognition, if it comes with the facial recognition, so it generates the facial recognition metadata. And if it comes with the license plate recognition software, it generated the license plate metadata. And these metadata need to be used with the customer's actual applications. For example, the Harbor Club that we've been working with Dennis and Raymond for your clients right now. So it has the metadata, but then it wants to be able to distinguish the blacklist or whitelist, and then to command the door to open or not to open. So the idea is like that. So we define all the video analytics things as a metadata generator. So this is an explanation about like why you will see a lot of MGB things in our portfolio right now. Okay. So video analytics. So like I said, I'm sorry I didn't really sort out here, but actually we can categorize all the video analysis into so like I said first, so for security plus, so like a line crossing, loitering, these are for security plus because it's mainly to assist with the current surveillance system, which we mostly depend on the motion detection to have an alert or have an event, right? But then still motion detection are not widely used because of the false alarms issue. So with the video analytics, I will say it's largely improved this situation. So I can be more specific about the behavior that I want to detect. Okay, but still, video analytics is always not for the 100% use, but it's a helper. It's a helper to you can regard it as a helper to help you track the incidents more accurately. Okay. So another is for business intelligence. So like the people counting that we've demoed before. So people counting, agent gender, facial recognition, they are more for the business intelligence. I will be more specific in the retail solution. So I have a chapter for retail solution. It's still our main focus for all the application solutions. So I will bring it up later. So for this page, for the video analysis, I'm not sure if you have any questions. It's still there?
Yeah, we have no questions.
Okay. Okay. So then the third part is the video management system, so the VMS part. Now we got, let me jump to the next page. So now we got the ENR G3. I think this is more like related to you because you buy a lot of ENR right now. So what's ENR G3? Basically, before, you can see this one. Sorry. I will just enlarge this. Okay. So before, the ENR that you are using right now, we call it ENR G2. So the ENR 110, 120, 130, these are the models that you are purchasing often. They are with the limited functions compared to our software MVR. So it's basically a budget option, and then for recording and for some basic camera setting, event management, and then can be used with the CMS. But now ENR G3, we have all the functions catching up with our software MVR. So it have more advanced functions. The largest two thing is that it's compatible with the IVS functions right now. So like we have a line crossing camera. So if you want a line crossing camera and then you want the events of line crossing to be pop up at the MVR, before that you need to choose the software MVR to go with it. right now with the ENR, you also support the IBS camera, so support the line crossing as an event trigger. So this is the first difference. And the second difference probably is a bit minor because it's for third-party device integration. The two largest application is pulse and access control. Okay, so I don't want to focus more on the pulse because pulse integration is highly depends on if the pulse vendor that the customers are using, if they are willing to do this kind of integration. So it tend to be more difficult to sell or to design. But for the access control, since ACTi has more and more access control product recently, so it can already work with ACTi's other access control devices. And for the access control devices we have right now, we got the pure card reader. Also, we got the one with the built-in facial recognition. So I will also introduce it later. So these are the two main differences between the old ENR and new ENR. Okay. And then there are some like more functions. I didn't list them down, but some useful ones, including it supports automatically firmware upgrades. I think your team will love it. And also it supports, you can do the port forwarding on cameras from the ENR itself. It's also very handy if you are setting up for the customer to have the remote client via their mobile or via their remote PC. So these are more convenient. So I would like to have an overview of the ENR G3 product. So you can see from here, with the ENR the model name ENR 1110 or 120, these are the old generation 2. But with the ENR 220 or 221, these are the ENR generation 3. So you can see you also got the options for built-in PoE ports. And then there's one special thing is with the lock. So these tower standalone NVR, these two models are with the lock. So I have some feedback from European customers that since GDPR is applied right now, and then in the CCTV field, more and more users, they are asking for higher confidential functions. For example, like this, you need to lock the NVR. So not able to let anyone be able to remotely view it or like or locally view it, something like that. So this can be a good solution for them. And then there's another one called Lockbox Standalone VR. So this is also with lock.
If it starts with a 3 or 4 or 6, it's also like the third generation?
Pardon me?
You said when it starts with a 1, it's a G2. When it starts with a 2, it's a G3. But if it starts with a 3, a 4, or a 6, it's still a G3 or G2?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Then I should say start with a 0 and 1, they are G2. But start from 2, 3, 4, 6, they are all G3.
Okay, clear.
Okay. So for the lockbox standalone and the tower standalone, the differences are the lockbox is possible to mount it on the wall directly. So it's really cool for some business. They don't have really a server room or they don't have enough space to put an additional server. It can just be mounted on the wall. Okay, so this is it. And then one more thing special is now we have the 32 channel standalone NVR. So for them, they are all the same, like a free license. It's a free license for all the channels. Okay. So for this part, it's all right? Okay, I will go. So for the NVR, just a quick review. I think these are not the latest functions. It's been here for like 1 or 2 years, but still, we got in the corporate version, we got the push video function, which is have the mobile phone as a camera to push a video to the NVR. Okay, this one thing. And the second one is the web plugin. So you can pretty much plug in a website here as one of the channel along with your camera live view. And then the third one is export with the embedded player. So before we got the raw file, that is a more compressed file that you can export it sooner, but it requires the ACTi player, a special player that you can download from ACTi website to play with it. But right now we have this third option that you can export with the player already. So it's a
Cindy?
Yes.
Is this the corporate software VMS, or is it also generation?
Yes, corporate software VMS. Yes.
So these functions are not available in the generation 3 standalone NPRs.
For the push video, actually, for not all of the functions are will be included in the G3. So probably later I can give to you. For example, push video, it's a function that will be in the general G3. It's designed to have it, but then not yet supported. So it's in the roadmap. But for some other,
will there be some sort of overview where we can see which function is embedded in which generation of NVR, in standalone NVR? Future available?
Yes. I will have that sheet. So basically, like a whole function list comparison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can send you that later. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
So then digital auto tracking. This is for the this is a function applied with the hemispheric camera. Okay. And then Google Maps. This is no problem. So you can set up the GPS positions in the specific camera and shown in the Google Map for the correct position. And push notification, of course, we tried it before. That all the event notification can be shown on the mobile phone as well. Okay. And this one is a special one. I'm not sure if you are aware of it. It's called visual tracking. So visual tracking is more useful for some premises they got the security guard or any person or security manager that is watching the system. How does it work? It's like for example, in this building you have the parking lot. And you got you have the cameras installed in the parking lot, aisles, and entrances. And so basically, the cameras are monitoring the path. That if there's any intruders, that the path that any intruder will take. So the camera covers the whole path. And basically, normally you need to click the cameras to find the right scene when you are tracking a criminal. But visual tracking enable you to connect, to link all the related cameras together. So for example, like this view, you see that, so you see there are 4 cameras icons here. So it means there is one camera behind these entrances. So basically, this is the cameras behind the entrances. The scene that the scene of the camera behind the entrances. Sorry about that. So you can connect this camera with this view. So when you are viewing this camera A at the parking lot, when you click here, where the icon is, it brings you to the second camera directly. So it helps you very efficiently track the intruders. So this is called visual tracking. I'm not sure if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we understand.
Okay, okay. So this is a free function. It's just a advanced thing that in the VMS, and I think most of the people they don't know about this function. This is very good when you are demoing the NVR to the customers. Okay, so post integration, I'll just skip it. Access control, I also mentioned it already. And the Q950 is the one that we've been demoing before. So right now we got the car. So I think our conversation is like if this can support the SIP function. So to be used as a real intercom camera, but then right now the product design is that we distinguish it. We still keep it as what it is right now for the pure security camera and audio communication through NVR only. But we do have another model of intercom that supports the SIP. So
is the new model OEM or made by ACTi?
Yes, it's OEM. It's OEM. So because it's too specific, so yes.
They're both OEM.
Q950 is an in-house one, but okay. The SIP one is an OEM one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's about the intercom camera, and then you are all familiar with the CMS and TV wall, so there's basically no problem. Cloud NVR, I still not recommend it at this moment, because if you have inquiry, like a project-based inquiry, then I think we can discuss it more. Okay, so this part is all about the traditional CCTV and the spec updates. So I'm not sure if I miss anything or you see some of the newsletter, you want to ask anything?
No, it's okay now.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
It's okay.
Okay, okay. So for the operation management business intelligence, I guess I can only use some case study to tell you more about that. So I think the most solid solutions is still in the retail. But of course, I mentioned we have the parking lot solutions and the logistics factory and LPR and the commercial building. But then for the most complete solution still in the retail, so I focus on this only here. Okay. So retail, right now we have the football counting, the people counting. Now and then right now we have the people counting, age and gender, and face recognition in terms of VIP or blacklist recognition, and smart digital signage is we got the cloud-based solution, also the local-based solution. So I will zoom in more. So we have already modularized all these like data, because not every retail industry, for example, a fashion industry or a supermarket or a convenience store, they probably need different data. So we kind of modularize them to the people counting and then demographic as the main requirement to suggest a customer. And then digital signage, of course, it's very popular right now in the whole world. So the three packages that we're mainly promoting now. And for people counting, we got the 2D and also the 3D one. So I didn't put it here. Sorry, haven't got a good time to manage to update it. But we got the 2D and 3D. So the differences between the 2D camera and 3D cameras are 2D cameras basically still rely on purely computer vision. So remembering that we mounted on the top of the entrance to look down to see the people's head and shoulder as an object to count it. For 3D cameras, it got an extra sensor. That sensor can detect the height of the object. So it gives a second rule to decide if that is a object to count or not. So for the 2D ones, biggest challenges is like when there are two people walking together very closely, or like the people's height is probably too much differences, and then affect the size, the object size it has in the camera view. It probably will have seen some miscounts, but with the 3D camera, this can all be solved. And so right now, global-wise, most of our cases, we are now using the 3D counters. For example, we have more cases here right now in Hong Kong. There are a big cosmetic retail chain. I think they are going to expand to 50 to 70 stores. They will all install this camera. And I also did the project here in Taiwan. It's in Uniqlo. So I will say overall for the retail, why we still focus on retail solution? Because we can see like foot traffic data is actually a solid demand for the retailers. The main thing is, actually I learned it from Uniqlo a lot. So Uniqlo is selling clothing. Do you know this brand? It's a Japanese brand. Hello?
No, we don't know this brand.
Oh, okay. Probably it's not popular in Netherlands. Okay, so it's a global, it's a very big brand in Japan, and then they selling clothing for like men, women, and kids, very large one, and then very you can consider them as a Zara, but Zara is more fashionable, and Uniqlo is more like simpler design, but with a good quality of fabric. Okay, so you can imagine they have a very high foot traffic, but for them, before they have the people counting solution, it's really hard for them to decide the KPI for their marketing team and also the store operation team. Okay, so the story comes from here. Every week they will have a group meeting to review the revenue of every store from last week. But then, if the revenue is decreasing, then they will start to review like what can be improved, right? So normal time, marketing team, they will say, okay, this shouldn't be our problem because we've done blah blah blah, like the probably marketing through Facebook, marketing through advertisements or YouTube video. So they've got the click rate, and they got the reach rate of their digital marketing. So they will say, okay, I achieved that. So this shouldn't be our problem. But to be honest, even these like click rate or reach rate is achieved, it does not necessarily to bring more people to the stores. So it's like the store operation part, store operation team, it's always their fault. They need to improve a lot of things, including the staffing or like the store display or like their stock rate, anything like that. So they need to improve a lot of things, and it's always a headache because it involves a lot of employees in one store. So the business development team, they decide to include the foot traffic data as another indicator about their sales revenue. So now they've been the system has been working for 4 months already. So they already started to using these and then combining with the pulse data to know the conversion rate. So they have some applications, for example, they will, so they schedule the staff like every half an hour. And then right now they are checking the conversion rate every hour. So if there are particularly hour that the conversion is low, then the store manager can decide they want to put more staff up front to be able to serve customers and to convert the visit to actual sales, something like that. Or they can know the conversion rate versus the foot traffic every hour to decide how many people they want to put in the pulse counter, because they manage the labor cost very carefully. Like they even regulate that every transaction needs to be completed within 90 seconds, something like that. So they have a very careful calculation, and they said that the foot traffic data really helps them a lot. And this is not the only story. I believe this happens everywhere. We can see there are more and more stores having this kind of system. So we make it as the top focus solution to sell global wise. And then you can, so I know you've been considering about the accuracy problem, but from our experiences now, it's not a main issue anymore. Okay. And the second part is the demographic analytics. This is also this very popular in Asia, but I know probably in Europe, I'm not sure if the privacy issue is still a main thing there. But actually, for the demographic data, we actually save only the data in text, so not saving any pictures. So this shouldn't be an issue, okay? And then I also want to share with you about the insight. So like the most hot requirements come from Japan. So in Japan, their retail business is very, very, I have to say, there are like 10,000 of convenience store, just convenience store, that like 10,000 stores there. So, and then every retailer are thinking about the same thing. They want to be able to know their customers, who are they, and what they buy. And you can see like there are several ways to know that. So like the oldest way is the membership, right? So we can have a member card, and then when we buy things, we show the member card to get discounts or to get some points. And now there are more and more people use probably an app, to use a store's app to know that the customer's in, and then still also like the member cards ideas to collect the information. But still, for retail, it's really hard to have the complete member data. So for example, if I have 100 members, the members that will show their identity at the stores, at the most, it's just probably 20% to 30%. So meaning, if you have 100 members, even if the member reach is your member reach rate is already that high, so 100%, but then they won't show their identity when they come. So you still lose like 70 to 80% of the member. You know nothing about them. So in this case, they decide to use a more passive way to collect the data. So like cameras is the most ideal solution, because it's just collecting the data without noticing by the customers, right? So you can get 100% of the data. Although you only get the gender and age information, but that's good enough. That's better than nothing at all. So a lot of retailers, when they are still pushing their membership, they hope their members can grow, but still in the second, they also have a backup to collect all the gender and age data. So this is what we see here in Asia specifically. So now we got a lot of 3C stores, furniture stores. Also, I think 3C stores is the they require this type of requirements mostly. Okay. So then the third part is the digital signage. So like I shared with you before, we got the cloud version, which you have the content management server at the cloud. So it's a subscription solution. So the customer can subscribe for example, 1 year digital signage services. So what they need is to buy like a computer stick to play to play the videos on the monitor. So it goes with the monitor. So you have this hardware, and then you subscribe the content management service on the cloud. So you will get the account and password, and then you can log in on cloud, then to decide what content to be played on which media display server. Okay. Okay. So the heat map, I put it a bit behind because it's not a high priority. Still, it's just for people to see where the hot zone and cold zone. Okay. And VIP recognition, I think in Europe, probably this is not too good. So I just let you know we have these options as well. Okay. So about the MAS, I also want to show you the latest dashboard we got here. So it's the public demo site. You can just go and check. So in the latest, the new dashboard, this is the main page you will see. So for a chain store, you will see immediately the list of the stores and the real-time data today. Okay. And then click in the store detail. The first page, you will see all the data they have. So it contains the data, like the main data I just mentioned, the foot traffic data also, and also the gender and age data here. So Eric, because you come and then see some of our MS interface before, and then you really suggest us to do some UI design. So this is the first one. This is the latest one. I'm not probably you can also give us some good feedback relating to the design.
This already looks a lot better.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So this page gives the store manager a quick view about what's the data now in your shop, and then based on many experiences from the retailers, they want to check out the foot traffic by hour. So this gives you an idea which hour is the peak. So this is very critical for scheduling the staff. And then if you click in the foot traffic, you will have more chart to see. So it gives you the today's foot traffic and the week to date, month to date, year to date. Okay. And then you are able to see the comparison for the last 7 days or last month, last quarter, or defined range for the store manager itself. And also can do the month-to-month comparison already. So it's really handy for the store manager to know their situation. And for the demographic, still, the main chart will show is the percentage. So this is also do the comparison per day, per month, per day, per week, per month, per year. Okay. And then for the overview, so this is the like a single store information. But then you can also do the comparison. So here you can see I have Taipei store and Tainan store here. So you can see the foot traffic comparison from the page, from the comparison page here. So it's pretty handy. So if you want to see just one store, and you can just click to filter it out. So I think it's very, very user friendly. And later on, because when I mentioned the most critical demand, I think it's still the people counting, and it will be meaningful when it combines with the pulse data. So right now we are developing the pulse integration data. So we don't want it to be a complete integration, which involves another vendor. That will be too complicated for selling this solution. Instead, we will give you an option to import the pulse data. Because to be honest, most of the business right now, they won't use the built-in data analytics in the pulse software. Normally, they will export the data and they pick the items they want to compare with the other systems information. So this idea gives us the inspiration that we can just import those data. So most of the time they will use 3 numbers. One is the total revenue per day, and then total number of transactions. Okay. And then third one, I forgot. Okay, so at least we have these 2 columns. So we give you these 2 columns to import. So we will have an extra page to give you the pulse dashboard, and then you are able to compare the pulse data with the foot traffic data or also the GenNH data. And when we have those functions, I believe this will be super handy for all the retailers. Because right now, for example, like Uniqlo, they still do the hand jobs. So the business development team, they need to export the pulse data and then export the foot traffic data, and then make an Excel report and calculate the conversion rate and send it to every store manager. And then store managers also need to check it and then to report like what action they will take when they see this data report. So it's still in the manual stage, but we will make it an automatic one, and that will be helpful for them. Okay, so this is sharing about the retail. I'm wondering if you have more questions.
So for this, you need this MAS package. It's like
yes,
a separate package which you need to do this analysis.
Yes, it's a package.
Okay.
So it's already very simple. So like you will have the camera. So camera is the people counting camera. And then you will need to have a software. So you will have a software called, we have a specific product name for it. It's called RAS for retail. So RAS. So it's not anymore something like customized things. It's more solid.
Okay, clear?
Yes. So still, what we'll sell is camera and then a server with the IS software inside. So we'll give you an option to, like an MVR, you add the cameras in your IAS, and then the data can already be sent to this IAS, and then it's already done. And you also had the failure, like the system health check management, like NVR. You can detect when the camera connection lost. So this system also can detect the data loss. It will give you a notification like the data is not sending over. And then you also got the automatically rebuild the data. So for example, within 1 day, if you got a short disconnection from the camera and the IS, then when the network is resuming, then the data will be also sync back to the MS, the IS. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so I think this is the main thing I want to share today. So I'm not sure if you have any things you want to see, because I didn't specifically share about the access control. I'm not sure your ideas about this part, because access control can be another field of knowledge. So I'm wondering if Xpert will be interested in this part as well.
Yeah, I have a couple questions about like the door gateway. So you have like the one without chip, and you come with the one with chip, which is OEM. What's the next step?
Yes.
What will be the next step?
The next step for the door station?
Yes.
The next step. You say next step. Okay. Oh, you mean the access control management?
No, I mean, let's say, will you get new door stations? So now you have one you made yourself, which is maybe not like complete. You outsourced one, which you will brand as an ACTi one. And what will be the next step? Let's say, what will be the next product? What will be the roadmap?
For the door station.
Correct.
I think so far we will just have these two options to as a door station with the video. But then in terms of the access control, right now we have the complete solutions for like different types of access control devices. Probably let me show you via our website.
Okay.
Okay. So can you see I'm on our website right now?
Yes.
Okay. So here we got the solution page. So we have some new architecture here. So for the solutions, now you will see we have two types of access control solutions. One is the standard ones. Okay. So for an access control solution, it requires the door station, no matter with the card reader or any type of identification method. So you have the door station and with the access control management server. So now we have the standard code, like it's purely like swiping cards or entering a PIN code. So it's more standard one with this type of devices. Okay, so for the So you can see there are different solutions. So normal RFID cards or high security, it means the Q950, then you have the video in the same time. Yeah. So these are the two types for in terms of standard access control. And then for the intelligence, we've got the edge facial recognition devices or the excellent accuracy server options. So the two difference is edge is a built-in, meaning built-in analytics device, and excellent accuracy server means you have a camera at front, and then you still need a backend server to do the facial recognition. Okay, and then we also got the fingerprint, but it's not ready yet, I believe. So like this model is the door station with facial recognition built in already. And then for the architecture, like for the server, it will be like the Q950 at the front because it's with the camera, and then you have a facial recognition server at the back end. Okay. So
bottom part with a network I/O module and lock, then you can lock and unlock. It's like with magnets.
Yes, you can connect it to the magnet.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a controller. You'll see that it's a controller. And for the access control solutions, for example, like the door station, it doesn't come with a controller. It can connect with the digital input output directly, but then if there are multiple doors, then you need to set it up one by one, right? But a lot of cases in the building, they are using a central controller to do it. Okay. So right now for the access control solution, if for the facial recognition, you need to consider some scenarios. The first thing is the face database. Like first thing should be the card database, but then because our RFID card is pretty standard already. So the spec wise, it can always support like up to 10,000 cards or something. So it's not a problem. It can cover most of the scenarios. But for the facial recognition as an identity verification, it will be more limited because facial recognition, it needs a more computing power. So for example, why we have the built-in analytics and the server-based analytics, it's because of the face database. For the built-in one, since the computer power is more limited, it can support if you have the pure face recognition to be. Why I say that is like this type of machine that you can have several rules to allow entrance. For example, just swipe the card and you can be approved, or you need to swipe a card and then recognized by faces to be approved, and then or like just purely using the face. You don't want to use the card at all. So there are different options. But for the pure faces, and this comparison needs stronger computing power. So in this case, it only supports up to 600 faces. So you can consider, and then if you want a larger, like pure facial recognition access control, then you'll consider a server-based one. So facial recognition is more about that. Yeah. And then I would like to show you, so currently, we see the door station with facial recognition is more sweet in the high security environment. For example, data center. So data center, they are more and more important in terms of the IT security. IT network security and also the physical security. So now most of the data center, especially in Asia, they are requiring biometric verification, not only the card. So they are pretty popular in data center. And the other scenarios is like for bank, like the vault, bank vault, or like the prisons are more used. So I want to show you the video about this device. So I'm also honest with you. This is also OEM, and but I think it's very, very. The design is beautiful first of all, and then it's really easy to use for the users and easy to install as well. And the response is pretty fast. So it's a card plus face. The last scenario is a card plus face. So this one is the S41, the H facial recognition based access control device. So I'm wondering if you have any question about that.
No.
I'm thinking this is what I want to propose, probably for your new building, but I'm not sure what you think, Eric.
Yeah, but this one, you cannot make a phone call, isn't it?
Oh,
Let's say
okay.
if you have a visitor, let's say a visitor is coming to your building, how
Yes.
he will go through? Not possible. This is only for people that you already know, and
Yes.
like this is for employees. But if you get a visitor, the visitor, let's say, yeah, cannot enter the building.
Okay. So you are more looking for a intercom connected to the the facial recognition and then also the card reader solution.
I think you would like to have an integration, like something which is together, because this is like you know everybody who's coming. You only want to make sure that the one that's coming is the one that is coming, so that you can double check it with the face. But in regular buildings, I think you also have a lot of visitors that also would like to enter. So you need a camera, you need a SIP connection that you can open if you're sitting somewhere else, that you can even maybe see the video image, or you can have at least audio. And this is not all integrated in this one.
Yeah, I understand. But I think the products have different positions. For example, still in many in many commercial buildings, we see that the intercom is different from the access control system. Like they have two, they are separate. So,
yeah,
but I understand. Yes.
Yeah, of course. So you can have separate, but then you also have separate installation, separate cabling, separate. And I think if you want to integrate things, if you want to offer a solution, I think it's handy to have integration.
Yes.
Instead of separation.
Yes. I understand. But right now we just don't, because I think the reason why we decided to OEM is also we see that most of the solutions in the market is still pretty much separated. Like it comes from and then for facial recognition, it's more unique. So it's not coming with any like SIP-based intercom service devices right now.
Okay.
So I guess just I think this is a good feedback. But then right now I will see probably if there's any roadmap for these functions to be combined. But so far, I see like the markets are also using them separately. So I think for right now, at least this year, I don't see a potential roadmap to do that.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. Hello?
Yeah, we had a small discussion here, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, we are back.
Okay. Okay. So I think so far this is what I want to share.
Yeah, and
So
if you go back to the cameras, let's say you showed us the A series.
yes.
What is the planning there more? Let's say regarding cameras, because you have of course more series. It's not only the A series. What is the future for camera? Which cameras will come in the coming year, or what's the planning? Will
Uh,
will you focus more for certain models, or will you extend it with a lot of series?
I think A series will be the mainstream for at least within 2 to 3 years will be
But
the
then
main.
the D and the E and the B series, they will be less.
Um, yeah, but there will be less because we discontinue some older spec, for example, 1 megapixel.
Hmm.
Uh, and then before, I believe we already have too many models that are not that practical, to be honest. So, for example,
Not that what?
not that like not selling at all. For example, with some I believe some 10 megapixel, probably we have a 10 megapixel box for probably two models with a little bit different like lens or something. So we started to narrow down. So with a very small difference model, we discontinue some of them, but it won't affect the data because most of the models you are using are the mainstream models, so they
Hmm.
are not going to be discontinued now.
But you say basically that the focus for the future will be on the A series.
Uh, I think A series is for more mm, like a common use, which is more covering more scenarios, and we still are developing new specs under the B series or E series. As you can see, like this B420 is under B
Hmm.
series. So I will say probably 60% more on the A series, 40% on the other series. Uh, but I will say 1 megapixel will for sure be discontinued. Also the 10 megapixel probably will not for the hot selling model, but 10 megapixel we probably will just keep the hot selling with the probably the dome cameras and also the bullet cameras, and then fisheye cameras. But the other 10 megapixel probably will be discontinued.
Okay.
Yes. And part of the reason is we are upgrading the like sensor. The sensor is more critical for the video quality, especially for low light. That's why from the sensor upgrade, if there are models that are using very old sensor components, then we discontinue. But I cannot tell you clearly like which models are involved. But I believe because I think 2017 we discontinue so many models. So right now I think it's already filtered out almost 80%. So I think no more like a huge discontinue plan.
Okay. Clear. Any more questions, Dennis? Okay. Then for now, I think it's good, and maybe we can have another session later, like maybe in 1 or 2 weeks. Then we double check again. Then Dennis and I will now go work on it and make a little bit of selection which models we're gonna do. We're gonna think about how we can integrate things into Office and what. And
Okay.
if you can check with Victor if he can update Raymond about the license plate project and the harbor.
Yes.
So that because we would like to know what is now the final solution because they first it was only like the license plate recognition, and after they also installed some MES there. So yeah, we kind of need to know what is now the solution and what we can offer.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Yeah, we'll have I'm organizing the feedback and then we'll reply to you later.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So
can you maybe also send us this presentation?
Okay. Sure. No problem. I'll send to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Wait. One moment. Dennis has last question.
Pardon me?
Yeah, only the last question is if you can send us the overview with the differences between the standalone NVR and the enterprise.
Okay, the function comparison between the NVR.
And also what will be now
the roadmap.
And future available.
Okay, no problem. And okay, I think so far it's like that. Okay, so we will talk offline, Eric, about your thoughts for the new building. So yeah, I'll check further with the access control part.
Yeah,
if there's a solid roadmap about any other SIP models.
Yeah, we will discuss again internally here. What can be a good next step, and then yeah, we will have contact. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank
you
also.
for your time.
Yeah. You thank you for the explanation.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.